Bet you didn't think that was controversial, did you? Well, you'd be wrong. That's the Mario game for Nintendo's 3DS. It was released last Christmas. Did you notice anything wrong with it? Look carefully. That's right. That's right. Mario wears a tanuki suit, which is similar, an animal similar to a raccoon, and he wears it and he gets special powers. Well, obviously, that wouldn't fly. Guess who came out with this statement? Tanuki may be just a suit in Mario games, but in real life, tanuki are raccoon dogs who are skinned alive for their fur. By wearing tanuki, Mario was sending the message that it's okay to wear fur. Now, clearly, this beloved children's video game character is completely out of line, so PETA came up with their own game here, where a skinned tanuki chases after Mario wearing his fur and dripping blood. Just one example of the insanity perpetuated by the so-called People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. For more on PETA's craziness, we're joined by our own crazy man, David the Menzoid Menzies. Menzoid, I got to ask you, did you ever think you'd see a video game aimed at children where you've got an animal dripping blood chasing the kid's hero?
Well, I don't know, Brian. I mean, I'm not up to date on my video game culture and extreme radical left-wing progressive thinking. So could you please fill me in? What is PETA's stance on Frogger and Centipede? I know I'm a little behind the times.
Frogger? Oh, come on, Frogger.
That's wrong.
I'll
on so
admit,
many levels.
my boys play some pretty violent games.
Yeah.
But none of them that I've noticed have the message of don't wear fur, fur's bad, and don't eat animals. But meat's bad.
Indeed, Brian. But video games are meant to entertain and put a smile on people's face. These are concepts that are quite alien to the people at PETA. And quite frankly, if I was Nintendo, I would send out a press release saying that basically, because this is just a facsimile of a tanuki fur, the fact of the matter is Mario purchased his tanuki fur at a store that was selling a synthetic tanuki fur. You see, so you guys got...
I wouldn't even give in to them on that because, I don't know if the tanuki is actually skinned alive. If it is, that's bad. That's bad. But let's just acknowledge here that PETA exaggerates and they're a bunch of hypocrites. So I'm going to cast doubt on their claim. But as a Canadian who lives in a country that was founded on the fur trade, I will never advance the idea of fake fur. You told us earlier this year about PETA being bad for animals. Why? Because they kill them.
Oh, absolutely. I see you've got the graphic up. And what's worth knowing, Brian, is that according to records from the Virginia Department of Agriculture, PETA has so far killed more than 30,000 animals, mostly dogs and cats, at its headquarters alone in Norfolk, Virginia. So
that's just in one state.
Indeed. And by the way, the people blowing the whistle on PETA are ex-PETA members. I believe there's some website called PETAKillsAnimals.org or some such
PETAKillsAnimals.com.
.com, okay. And the fact of the matter is this, Brian, like you said, they're hypocrites. They talk a mean game when it comes to animal husbandry. But when it comes to actually managing animals, it's far easier for PETA to basically kill them, and as has been documented, in the dead of night, go to a dumpster somewhere and throw the corpse of that dog or cat into the dumpster. They are cowards, they are shameless, and they are hypocrites.
The unfortunate part is that they still get a lot of publicity, and not the way you and I are giving them by talking about them and pointing out their flaws, but they get a lot of legitimate publicity from other media outlets and from non-traditional news outlets. You'll get a celebrity that will come out against fur or against eating meat, and they do some sultry pose, half naked, and they're all over Entertainment Tonight, which is highly watched, influential with people that aren't going to sit there and say, well, is PETA, are they ethical? Are they consistent? Do they have my values? They're just going to go, oh, Alicia Silverstone or Pamela Anderson or whoever the latest beautiful Hollywood starlet to do one of their poses is. And they'll go, oh, they don't eat meat and they're against fur and I should be like them. and then they get into the PETA thing without really even thinking about it. And that's a problem.
But you know what, Brian? I really question the effectiveness of this organization because of their controversial poster campaigns. I think, like you said earlier, comparing eating meat or a slaughterhouse to the Holocaust, this kind of grotesque nonsense. I think PETA excels at getting publicity. They get into the news. They get maybe millions, maybe billions of dollars worth of coverage. But at the end of the day, my friend, really, how many people, what are the stats when it comes to, you know what, I'm not going to wear fur, PETA swayed me. I'm giving up a Big Mac, PETA convinced me to change my mind. It's almost as though PETA is in business and they have a budget of around $38 million a year just for the sake of creating publicity based on outrageous posters, pamphlets, and press releases like this one about a video game, for goodness sake.
And then they make the money. They get to live high on the hog, although I'm sure it's a synthetic hog that they live on, but they get to live high on the synthetic hog. I think I pointed this out to you before, but I'll say it again. A friend of mine looking at, they had women go to the National War Memorial here in Ottawa when we had our changing of the guard on, and they wanted them to wear synthetic fur hats instead of the bearskin hats. And so they go topless, but they've painted their body to look like they're wearing the red serge. And my friend on the radio said, you know what? She said, I'm not an expert in men, but I know enough of them that if women keep showing up naked or half naked to events to protest something, men will keep doing whatever they're protesting against to keep the naked and half-naked women showing up. So, you know, I think the answer is just keep eating the burger.
Oh, I agree, but you know what? There's also an argument to be made on public safety. And last year, there was a protest at a busy Los Angeles intersection. Once again, topless or naked women. Some of them were pretty good looking, if I do say so myself, Brian. And can you imagine what happens when you put a naked woman on the corner of a busy Los Angeles intersection? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing a few car accidents. Okay, Menzoid, we're going to leave that there. We'll let people have their own image, but let me show you a couple of images on the way out. This is what PETA does, folks. They compare the Holocaust to eating chickens. They show Jesus up on a cross as a pig on a cross. This is what the people at PETA do. Do you really want to support them?